Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at the brand new Psychic Fangs LUXRAY in action in the Open Great League. Unfortunately, Great League is not available in Go Battle League at the moment, so to test the new mon out and the new move to see if it's worth building, I did some practice battles versus some members of my Discord. Now, Psychic Fangs is a Psychic type clone of Poison Fang, which is a pretty good move, so I'm excited to see if it brings any relevance to LUXRAY. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at Psychic Fangs LUXRAY in action in the Open Great League. Hopping into the first match, leading Swampert into Whiscash. This is where we want to see Whiscash on the team, since we definitely don't want a ground type going up against our LUXRAY in the end game. We play for the extra mud shot and we're able to get it, and now we should be able to outpace to 2. So I am going to be going for the first Hydro Cannon here, and then unfortunately it looks like I may have overtapped. Pretty big mistake. I should have thrown right away as soon as I got it, then I could have prevented that damage from going through. We are going to fire back with the Hydro Cannon, and this will be taking it out, so we are able to secure switch. My opponent brings in a Lugia, and we are going to save switch into our Powder Snow Alolan Ninetales, and we're going to bait out a Drapion. Since we have 2 good responses to flyers, it makes sense to save switch into the Ninetales. We bait out the Drapion, which is very nice, and now we will have the LUXRAY aligned with the Lugia in the back. And since the Lugia doesn't have a lot of energy and LUXRAY charges pretty quickly with Snarl, we shouldn't actually need a shield, so if need be, we can expend all of our shields on the Alolan Ninetales just to take out the Drapion. I am going to be shielding this up. A Sludge Bomb would definitely be taking me out. We are going to be farming up a decent amount here. We will be going for the Weather Ball. Gets the shield. And now I'm going to switch into Luxray and try and get ahead on energy. We should be able to survive any one move, although Crunch does a lot. That's one thing. Luxray is very glassy. It hits hard, but my goodness is it glassy. Wild Charge will be one-shotting the Lugia. Drapion comes back in. They try and farm down, but we're able to reach Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs will be taking out the Drapion, and that is a good game. Alright, hopping into the next match, we have Swampert into Credilli. So this is a terrible match. We are going to save switch into our Alolan Ninetales, and we bait out a Drapion. So baiting out the Drapion, this is a bit of a tough matchup, but the good thing is it is a matchup that we do have potential to flip. We're going straight for the Dazzling Gleam, no baiting, and we land it. That's absolutely massive. We're able to farm down. That is very, very nice. We're able to win switch, which is huge, and they bring in Quagsire. I'm going to farm up a ton of energy, and I am going to be going for the back-to-back Weather Balls here, because I'm expecting we will get a shield on the first, which we do, and now we'll get some valuable chip damage. So winning switch is absolutely everything, as we will be able to keep that Quagsire away from our Luxray, which is huge. Stone Edge, absolutely massive damage. We come back in with the Swampert. They try and catch onto Credilli. We're going to bring in Luxray, and we're going to be going straight for Psychic Fangs. And Psychic Fangs isn't the biggest damage move ever, but we're able to get a shield. That is very, very nice. And here, I wanted to test the bulkiness. They go for the return. They're running the surprise nuke move, and they're able to farm down. Things are looking very rough for me here. Oh my goodness, for the return. We're able to land it, does pretty big damage. I'm pretty sure a Stone Edge from Credilli will do more than a Stone Edge from Quagsire, so I will shield that up. We're farming up a bunch. Back in comes the Quagsire. We have a ton of energy. We'll be able to go for the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon will be taking them out, and from here we can just mud shot down the Credilli, and we're able to get the win. Alright, and hopping into the next match, we have Swampert into Obstagoon. Again, it's CMP on the first one, so I'd like to play for the extra rather than throwing my charge move. We're able to get the extra mud shot, which is very nice, and now we're able to get to the back-to-back well before they reach their second move, and we'll be able to make them make the first shielding decision of the match. Going for the second one, and the second Hydro Cannon does get the shield. Now I'm going to save switch into the Alolan Ninetales, and they throw. Worst this can be is a cross chop. I'll let it go. They actually just throw the Night Slash for some extra chip, and they bring in Defense Deoxys. Defense Deoxys is a bit tough for this team. I would say this team, and Luxray especially, do really struggle against Pokemon that do a lot of fast move damage. So seeing Defense Deoxys, counter does a nice amount of fast move damage, so that is definitely not something that you really want to see here. And they are just going straight Psycho Boost, which works for me because they're really debuffing themselves. And here I'm going to threaten a farm down to force them to throw, because Now I should be able to get a nice farm on LUXRAY, and if you can get ahead on energy with LUXRAY, LUXRAY should hopefully be in a pretty good spot. We're farming up, and we're able to catch onto Swampert. That is absolutely massive. We can save the shield. As you can see, these counters are doing so much to LUXRAY. We're farming up to the back-to-back wild charges, and we're going for the Psychic Fangs bait. We get the shield, and we're able to get a Snarl through, and now we should be able to land one wild charge onto the Vigoroth, and then the second wild charge onto the Obstagoon. They do a very nice catch to reset the debuff. Wild charge will be taking them out, and now I desperately need a wild charge to KO the Vigoroth here. Second wild charge coming through. That takes out the Vigoroth after one Snarl, and we get a very narrow victory. All right, hopping into the next match, we have Swampert into Whiscash. So again, if we're going to see a Whiscash, we definitely do want to see it here. We are going to be letting the first one go, just a Mud Bomb, and we are going to be throwing just before we reach the back-to-back, because we'll be able to apply a lot of pressure onto this Whiscash. This time, we actually throw when we're supposed to, so now we get to make them make the first shielding decision. They do decide to shield up. I know that I do survive this, and they shouldn't be able to Mud Shot me down. So I should be able to get to the Hydro Cannon here. It'll be close, but we're able to make it. And now, unless they want to give me that second shield, we are going to be able to win switch advantage. And we're able to win switch. That is very nice. They bring in Vigoroth. And Vigoroth, as I mentioned, anything with counter is pretty tough for this team to handle. And so we are going to bring in the Alolan Ninetales. We can tank a Body Slam. That's fine. And I'm going to be building up, and we're going for the big move. We're going for the Dazzling Gleam, maximum damage, and the opponent shields. That is pretty rough for me. We do have 2 shields, and we need to farm up a ton on Luxray. Because hopefully they have shields down. I'm hoping that Luxray with energy should be able to sweep them in the end game. I'll need to farm up quite a bit though, because my nuke move does debuff me. We're farming up a lot. We go for the wild charge, and my opponent makes a really nice catch onto Venusaur. And with that catch, unfortunately, that should be a good game. Oh my goodness, very nice catch by the opponent there, as I'm able to take out the Venusaur, but I just get too low. I am not going to be able to clutch this out in the end game. They bring back in the Vigoroth. Vigoroth has energy. They'll be able to take out the Alolan Ninetales, and then they're going to be able to take out the Luxray as well. So, very nice catch there, but again, as you can see, Luxray, very, very glassy, definitely does not like to see counter users. Pidgeot on the lead. We're going to save switch into the Alolan Ninetales, and we are counter swapped by a Scrafty. Scrafty will just go straight Power Up Punch in this matchup. I do want to see if I can try and get a shield, so I am going to be going for the Weather Ball bait, because they have to respect the Dazzling Gleam. That's huge. And now, since they switched in a little slow, this Power Up Punch plus the following counter will not KO, and I should be able to one-shot them with the Dazzling Gleam or get the second shield. And we're able to get the second shield. Okay, that is very, very nice. We bring back in Swampert. Foul play will hurt, but I'm thinking, or at least I'm hoping that 2-shield Luxray will be able to clutch this for me. That does huge damage. That was more than I was expecting. That is not great. Hydro Cannon will take them out, and now it's all up to Luxray. They bring in Pidgeot, and it's Whiscash in the back, and this is so bad. But we have Psychic Fangs and 2 shields, so let's see if we can pull this off. Psychic Fangs does lower the defense, so the Snarl damage will be increased, as well as future Psychic Fangs will be doing more damage. Here, I am making the mistake of overfarming. I probably should throw the Psychic Fangs as soon as I get it, so that way I can increase the Snarl damage. Bit of a misplay there by me. We're going for another Psychic Fangs, and it's starting to add up, doing a decent amount of damage. I'll overfarm as much as I dare. We're going for another Psychic Fangs. I needed to KO. It does KO. Back in comes the Pidgeot, and we're able to reach the Wild Charge. So saving 2 shields for Luxray ended up helping out. We're able to take them out. And that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, we have Swampert into Hypno. This is a pretty neutral lead for us. We are going to be going for the Hydro Cannon as soon as we get it. They don't have to shield the first, but since we threw in the middle, we'll be able to win the CMP tie on the Shadow Ball, and we'll be able to trade shields. They shield, they want to get off the Shadow Ball, and I really don't want to take that damage, so I'm going to be shielding that up. And now we actually simultaneously switch. I bring in the Alolan Ninetales, and they bring in the Scrafty. They're going to be going for the Power Up Punch right away. And here I have a tough call to make. Whether to bait or not to bait, we're opting to go for the Dazzling Gleam. Going for the one shot, and they shield. That is so bad for us. That is absolutely terrible. Because Power Up Punch plus a counter will take us out. And now I'm in a really, really tough spot. I kind of don't want to leave the Luxray without shields. So I decide to no shield, but now I'm not going to be able to reach a move. I have to bring in the Luxray, and Luxray is just getting absolutely shredded by counters. A boosted Scrafty is an absolute death sentence for this team. We are going to be going for the Wild Charge. Wild Charge will take them out, but our defense is lowered. Bastiodon comes in, and unfortunately, my Swampert is just not healthy enough. They can bring in the Hypno. They'll be able to Confusion down. No point in throwing a charge move, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, we have Swampert into Ariados. Now, Ariados, despite a type disadvantage, honestly has not a bad Swampert matchup because they do outpace to the lunge, and that way they're really able to debuff us and cause quite a bit of havoc. We're able to get to the second Hydro first because the second Hydro is one Mud Shot fewer, which is very nice. We're able to land that. I try and catch the lunge onto the Alolan Ninetales. No such luck. They're going to be able to land the Cross Poison. Cross Poison does so much damage. I am going to be shielding this up, and I'm going to try and commit to the farm down. We're farming. They realized that I could commit to the farm down, and they're going to bring in Samurott. So we've got some spice in this battle. Let's go. Dazzling Gleam lands, Samurott not being one shot, and we're going to let this go. And let's see if we can farm down with the Luxray. We come in with Luxray, going for the Snarl down. Oh, unfortunately, Samurott just reaches a move. Again, Luxray is very glassy. I'm going to be shielding this up. But now we have a big energy lead, even though we are shieldless. They bring in Nidoqueen, and this is where having Psychic Fangs is massive. The first Psychic Fang lands, and despite the fact that we are an electric type and they're a ground type, we're able to hit them for super effective damage. We can force the shield. We're farming up. We try and catch onto the Swampert, and we force them to throw. That is very, very nice. They go for the Earth Power to take us out. We come back in with the Luxray. They bring back in Ariados. We overfarm as much as we dare, and we're going for the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs takes out Ariados. Nidoqueen comes back in, and we reach another Psychic Fangs. Will this be enough to take out the Nidoqueen? It does, and Luxray, barely able, but able to get the job done. Good games. All right, hopping into the next match. We have Swampert into Bastiodon. They say switch into a Shadow Victory Bell, and we're going to counter switch into our Powder Snow Alolan Ninetales. We're going straight for the Weather Ball, and this is probably Bastiodon Double Grass, especially when they decide to let that go. They were not looking to win switch, they were just looking to bait out the Alolan Ninetales. Bastiodon comes back in here, I'm farming up, and here I make a mistake. I should not have thrown this energy. What I should have done was let myself get farmed down, so the Bastiodon was trapped in against my Swampert for longer. So definitely a misplay there by me, as now they will be able to throw a Stone Edge, and here I'm just going to farm up as I'm expecting a catch, but they actually decide not to catch, so I am going to be going for the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon will be doing a nice chunk, and now they have Shadow Venusaur in the back. And Venusaur is normally a death sentence for electric types, but this is where Psychic Fangs gives fantastic coverage. We're able to land it. That lowers the defense, and now the Snarls are really beginning to chunk the Venusaur. We are going to be shielding up the Frenzy Plant and just start spamming out the Psychic Fangs. Another Psychic Fangs comes through, and we are going to be able to get them very low. We're going for the farm down. Tough call to make, but I don't want to take any unnecessary Vine Whip damage. So we are going to farm down. They're going to bring back in the Bastiodon. We have double Psychic Fangs loaded, so may as well debuff the defense. They let the first one through. We're going for Psychic Fangs number 2. This should get the shield. And from here, we can bring in the Swampert, Mud Shot down, and that is a good game. All right, hopping in the next match. We have Swampert into Defense Deoxys. We'll be farming up, playing for the extra. They go for the Psycho Boost, and that immediately has me worried that this is triple counter. So now we'll be able to see a Mon like Luxray going against a very popular staple meta line like triple counter. We're able to get the shield from Vigoroth, which is very, very nice. And here, if it's triple counter, it should be Obstagoon in the back. So I'm actually going to bring in Luxray here. My thinking is, My best bet is probably going to be the Alolan Ninetales, so I probably won't need too much out of LUXRAY. We're going to be going for the Wild Charge, but my opponent's shields. I was not expecting a shield, so they go down 2 shields to win Switch. Switch Advantage doesn't particularly help them here, as they have 3 counter users, but we are going to be shielding that up. And you know what? I'm going to see if I can go for a Powder Snow down. I will have to commit a lot of shields, but if it is triple counter, then they're not running Rock Slide on Defense Deoxys, so shielding the Body Slams isn't a bad bet. They bring back in the Defense Deoxys, a very smart play. The reason being you don't want to bring in an Obstagoon into a loaded Alolan Ninetales and just get Dazzling Gleamed. I go for the Weather Ball, they'll be going for the Psycho Boost, and I kind of have to switch here. We're going to bank up, we're going to switch, they bring in Obstagoon, and unfortunately, I don't believe I'm going to be able to output enough damage to take this out. This is going to be tough. We do get farmed down. We come back in with the Alolan Ninetales. We need energy to take out the Defense Deoxys, so I have to go for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball does not KO. They have a move, and that is going to be a good game. So all in all, thoughts on Psychic Fangs LUXRAY. LUXRAY itself has a very similar stat product to Galvantula, a Pokemon that honestly we've seen people have a ton of success with in the Great League. I think one of its big issues, to be frank, is its typing. Being pure electric, you don't have a lot of resistances compared to something like a Galvantula. So even though Psychic Fangs is a significant improvement, the fact that it's a very, very glassy Pokemon, combined with the fact that due to its typing, it doesn't really have a lot of resistances, means that unfortunately it's probably going to be like a low B, high C tier Pokemon. To be fair, I do think it's better than Dedenne. It has a lot better coverage moves, and in the 2 shield, so long as you can bait successfully, it does have a 70% win rate versus the Great League meta. So honestly, I do think it's pretty decent, but at the same time, being a pure electric type in a meta that is run by a lot of ground types can be pretty tough. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.